All right, now that we have Top Producer set up on your computer, and we don't ever have to go through that previous video again unless you get a new computer because everything's set up, we're going to look at the daily tasks. So you open Top Producer by double-clicking on the icon. And in the last video, we set it up so your username and password would automatically be stored in there. If for any reason it didn't save, then go ahead and put in your username and your password. Do remember to click this button if you didn't already, and click Sign In. So it doesn't usually take that long. Who knows what's going on the server. Anyway, by default, you go to the home screen. So this is your home screen. And from the home panel, you have the Home tab, Calendar tab, Contacts, Listings and Closings, Marketing, Email, various applications, and Sharing. Now we are, by default, like I said, in the Home tab, and this is the Home submenu. You have Calls, Appointments, To-Dos, Listing To-Dos, Closing To-Dos, Email, Print Media, Prospects, and Important Dates. So right now we're going to take a look really at calls, which come up again by default. That's the first one that comes up. And these are your calls for the day. So if this were your calendar, you would see 7 calls to be made today. Now, a couple things to know on this panel. Right here, you'll notice that this is a link. It's a live link. It's in blue. You hover over it, it gives you a highlight underneath. If you click here, this allows you to make modifications to the activity itself. So this description says call to see if wants gateway. So if for some reason you knew that this client was out of town and you wanted to change the date of this, you would click here in the date. You could click here and change it. Let's change it just to tomorrow so that we don't change too much. Once you do that, you scroll down, click Save Activity, and you're back to the home screen. And notice that one fell off. It fell off for today, but it's going to come back tomorrow. Now, let's say that you wanted to see about this person. So over here you change the activity. Over here you can change the person or see their history with us. So if you were to go into Marlene, you would see that they were on a 3 to 6 month action plan, but based upon lack of response and other things, it's been changed to a 7 to 12 month action plan. Anyway, from this screen, you'll notice up here you have the contact's name. So if you're talking to that contact and they tell you their spouse's name, you can actually click Edit here, and you could add in the spouse's name. So you would do that down here. See, it opened up. You can make changes to this. You could change the spouse right there. But we're not going to do that. I'm just showing you. So when we go back, you've got their phone number, their email address. If we had their home address, that would be here. And this is their contact type, and you'll learn more about this later. Now, we have a submenu under the contact. We have a summary of all their information. This is where you could scroll down and see all the notes for all of the time that they have been one of our contacts. You can scroll up and down through here. Contact details. Again, this opens up their contact type. You can change their name, you can change their phone number or add additional phone numbers. You can change their email address or add additional email addresses. All kinds of information in here. Now, if they did give you their address, their home address, maybe they needed to sell this home before they could buy another one, you would come into Properties and Addresses. You would click here, and you would add all of the information for their property. If you had more information about their family and friends, you could put some of that in here. Now these are the activities that are associated with Marlene. Marlene is on a 7 to 12 month action plan, so you can see that The next call is for today, and once that one's marked done, this new date will fill in, and it's not a set date. It's going to be a certain number of days. On a 7 to 12 month action plan, I believe it's 2 months. So this would be, you know, if you mark this one done, this one would then come up and say September 8th or something around there. So you can see the activities that are here. You could add an activity. Let's say you talked to them on the phone and they wanted you to send them an email with the lender's information. So if you were busy and you couldn't do it right then, you could add an activity. So you click there and you would say send lender information, and you could set that for tomorrow. And then you would scroll down and you would click add activity. And if they had any listings and closings, or if you had any photos of their property, you would put that there. So that gives you a quick overview of the contact record. So let's go back out. Again, this is the call screen. These are the calls that you would make, and we'll talk more about that later. And these are the to-dos. You'll see in here when you need to review or reinitiate an action plan. Again, we'll talk about that later. And it would also show if there were a new gateway for a new prospect. This is where you would find that information. It would show up as a to-do for you to make that gateway. Now the other items on here, the appointments, we really don't use that. There are more intuitive calendars that you can use. It'll probably be better for you, things on your iPhone or on your tablet or your iPad. Listing to-dos and closing to-dos, they have action plans in Top Producer that are set up to do that. However, you never know if your contract is going to be a 7-day due diligence, a 10-day due diligence, a 14-day, things like that. So they never really fit right. So again, we recommend that you keep those on your personal calendar. Emails, there is a Top Producer email, and we will give you an email address. If somebody had sent you a new email or you needed to send an email, you would see that here. And again, very not user-friendly in this system, so you're better off using your own email system. If you had any postcards or letters to print, it would show you here. We really don't use those on action plans. And the prospects and important dates, the way we use our system, we don't really use this functionality very often. So that's the overview of how to use the home screen.